Good morning. Happy Tuesday. My name is Diana and I am a 14th year teacher in the state of Illinois, and welcome to A Week in My Life. So as I said, it is Tuesday and not Monday. So we had a 3-day weekend this weekend, and it was very, very nice. The weekend was busy, packed, but fun-filled and exciting. So, where do I start? Let's see. So Saturday, my son had his championship game for baseball, and he won. They won the championship. It was super duper exciting. It was actually a pitcher's duel. And if you don't know baseball, a pitcher's duel is basically when like the pitchers are kind of battling it out and like no one's really getting any hits or anybody's getting any runs because they're just like on point. And so let me be clear, like there were like hits here and there, but nothing ever significant. I think the other team, the closest they had gotten was they had a man on like second and third, I think in like the second inning, and then they squandered that opportunity. Well, like I said, our pitcher was really on point. And with Little League or like the rookie ball, like they only let pitchers do like 2 innings. So the one that we had up for that inning did pretty well. And then so like the whole game, it was pretty much like that. Like we would get a couple of hits, we'd get on, nothing would counter, or our big hitters, which is usually like our beginning of the lineup. Sorry, like I have like stuff in my eye. I think it's from my makeup. Anyway, yeah, so our like heavy hitters who are like more at the top of the lineup, middle of the lineup, they, they really weren't able to like do a lot. They were striking out and things like that. And then I think in like the 4th inning, and it was kind of sad because my son hits 8th on the team and we have about 12 people. And so, and rightfully so, because he hadn't been performing very well like the entire season in terms of hitting. I mean, he, would try or whatever, but he's got some mannerisms that like, I think it like slows his timing. And so anyway, long story short, we kind of adjusted his batting swing and his batting stance. Like for a long time, he would like have his elbow down and he would just like, he wouldn't follow through with his swing. And so, funny enough, my brother was like, one day I went to my sister's house and he was like, why is it that he like, when he swings, he's got his elbow down? Like he needs to have his elbow up. Like that's going to be power. And, I kind of, me being a softball player, like I know those things, but like I'm just trying to figure out like because he was doing a lot of other things as well, and just kind of like teaching him how to bat in terms of like not getting angry when he would strike out, because I mean he would get really angry, he'd run off the field crying, and so we were trying to like make adjustments with that. So anyway, long story short, he started, batting the right way, putting his elbow up, making sure he's standing well. And I think it helped his form because once he put his elbow up, he had to stand a certain way and he had to swing a certain way. And I think it really helped. So he started coming on late in the season. And so, so that's why he was kind of batting 8th, which like I said, I agree with, because he wasn't really like dominating batting to begin with for him to be like anywhere other than lower part of the lineup. So, the great part about that is that, obviously if you know baseball, the lower end of the lineup is usually where you put like the hitters that are not as dominating. And so our lower part of the lineup was the one that like dominated the game. So in like that 4th inning, I believe that bottom of the 4th inning, because we were the home team, one of the boys came up, hit a single, or he hit it to the pitcher and the pitcher made an error. He didn't grab it and couldn't throw him out. Then my son came up, hit a double, which put him at 2nd and 3rd. And he had been complaining all year about how he hasn't been able to score because, again, he's at the lower part of the lineup. And so a lot of the boys that come up like after him either strike out or they're not very successful with hitting. And so he would never be able to like cross home plate, and he was always upset about it. And it was interesting because he was like really upset that day because of the fact that like the pitcher's duel was happening we weren't getting many people on base, so like he wasn't getting to bat every time. He'd have his like gloves and stuff on because we'd always be prepared, and he just wouldn't bat, and he was getting a little frustrated, and so he had a double. So it was him and the other boy on third and second, and then the other boy that came up got a single and scored those 2 runs, which were the only 2 runs of the inning. And it was, like I said, it was the 7th, 8th, and 9th batter that won us the game. And so it was really great. And then afterwards we went to celebrate at this it's called a Chaos Brewcade, and so it's like, it's cute because it's like a little like bar / arcade for the kids or whatever. So like bar and stuff for the parents, like, but then arcade for the kids. So that's what we did. And then Sunday we had a birthday party for one of my son's like friends from school. And then yesterday we kind of just hung out. I went to the grocery store. I had to buy some things for the store as well as like stuff. Boss's Day is this week, and so for my principal, we're doing like a party or whatever, like a little like lunch for him. And so I was like in charge of buying like drinks, and I gotta buy him a cake tomorrow. But yeah, so. But anyway, I know that was like a really long, but that was my weekend. And so I am refreshed and ready to go. I did lesson plan. I did everything I needed to do early in the weekend because I knew it was going to be pretty busy. And so I pretty much got everything good to go. I just need to actually get it from the printer and then just like print it out and stuff like that. So, but yeah, other than that, what are we doing today? Tuesday. I don't even know. Oh, we're dividing mixed numbers today. We're learning how to do that. Oh my Lord. Which is just like another bunch of steps. That's going to be so complicated. But you know what? I think they got it. I think they'll rise to the challenge. And then, we're reading a new story called Skitter Hitter today. So they should be interested with that story. It's actually a really good story. And then, I don't know. So we only have like 2 or 3 more days before we dissect the sea lampreys. Oh my goodness. So we shall see how that goes. But anyway, I'm on my way to school. I should probably be there in like the next like 12 minutes or whatever. So I'll check in with you guys later. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully you got to relax a little bit more than I did, but you know, I won't change it for anything in the world because it was a great weekend. So, but I'll check in with you guys later. It's the end of the day, and I am getting my life together as we speak. Actually, let me move you over a little bit. Here we go. Yes, so I was just making an anchor chart for tomorrow for a reading, and then just kind of going through what I needed to go through for our math lesson. My principal's coming in to do an informal observation of me tomorrow during math, and so I wanted to make sure that I had all the math stuff that I needed. I actually found an escape room as well as a like a math mystery page that gets revealed as you kind of go through the problems or whatever, and so I think they'll enjoy that. I think that'll be a good activity for them to do, to kind of just practice dividing mixed numbers. And I think the other one was like, yeah, I think they were both dividing numbers, like fractions and mixed numbers. So that'll give them a little bit more practice before we move on to adding and subtracting decimals. Because I think, according to my lesson plans, let's see, I have to look at my lesson plan. Sorry, I'm just like going to my drive. Recent, here we go. Interesting. Oh, I got all of these. Here we go. Okay, so according to this, tomorrow, we did example 1 today, dividing mixed numbers. We're supposed to do 2 tomorrow, but we actually did that today with order of operations. So I think tomorrow we'll just do that review just to make sure that they got it. And then Thursday, we were supposed to do the example number 3 and the triad activities for 1 and 2, which I think we'll do tomorrow, and then practice that. And then maybe on Thursday we'll review place value and decimals place value, because I think we were going to start doing decimals next week, but I don't know. We'll see kind of how they go, or I might give myself those 2 days to do that review for the dividing mixed numbers, because I feel like just when there's so many steps, like they just tend to kind of have an issue with that. So I'm hoping that that'll help a little bit. But I just finished my anchor chart here. Let me show you. It's like right there, and it's for our common lit for tomorrow. So I was just doing that because I already have my divided mixed numbers one for tomorrow. So I just have to, in my mind, play like what I'm doing. So he won't be in here that long, but we'll do our SD mysteries tomorrow. And then after we do our SD mysteries, we'll kind of do those 2 examples that we have. And then we'll do the stuff that we're going to do in Google Classroom for what I found. And I might just end up showing them, because I know I showed them I showed them 2 ways to do, or 1 way to do like the simplification of fractions. So I think maybe tomorrow I'll do that as well and show them the other way of like breaking down the fractions, just because like some of them are getting like really large fractions and it's like really hard. So I'm trying to see if maybe I'll show them that way tomorrow, or I'll pull a small group and show individual kids, because I started doing that today and I feel like it helped a little bit, but we'll see. But yeah, so I'm gonna pack up and then head out, and I'll catch you guys in the car. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hump day in the house. I am living for it because I just realized tomorrow's already Thursday. Those days off during the week make a difference. So today, I am running a little late this morning. My nose is running and I have my napkin over here and it fell. Yes, I am running a little late this morning. So as you've seen, usually when I leave at a specific time, traffic builds. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. But it says I'll get to work by like 7:55, which is not ideal. But at least it's before 8 o'clock and it's before 8:05 because this week I have duty. And so what that means is just basically from like 8:05 to 8:15, I have to be outside in the morning and just monitoring the kids, making sure everything's good before I come in for my class. And it's interesting because like I'll just get there and I'll just like set up everything, put my slides up, and then I'll just run outside because you know, like by the time I am done and then I get my kids and go to the room, it's like I don't really have time to do anything else. But today, I told you guys yesterday, my principal's coming in to observe me, an informal observation, as they call it. So this one's just like, you know, just kind of like coming in and just seeing how everything's going, which is interesting because he does that often. I mean, the only difference is that he's not writing it down, but he comes in, you know, very often and, you know, just monitors what's going on in the classroom, which, you know, as every principal should, you know, be present, be known. And so, you know, he's always around, which is nice. You know, he's not, you know, just in his office hanging out or, you know, doing other things that, you know, that really aren't, you know, beneficial to anybody. So that's good. But he's coming in today to do my informal, and this is kind of like he will put it in like our program system for like my Danielson framework. I don't know if any of you others, like teachers that follow me, know about that, but it's like the 4 domains that they do, and then they do 4 domains and then they like rate you on those. But for the informal ones, they don't really do all that. They just kind of like give you a little bit of feedback. For the formal ones, it's more so like, what are you teaching? What are the kids going to learn? What are they going to do? And that one you kind of like have a meeting for and kind of talk a little bit about what that's going to entail. And they usually stay for about 45 minutes. So he's doing an informal one for my math lesson today. And then I think I have 2 informal and 2 formal, or 1 and 1. I don't know. It's always different depending on where you are and like how long you've been teaching. So like when I was in the city, I would just do 1 and 1 because I had gotten to the point where I was tenured. So I would only need 1 formal and 1 informal. But when you first start out, you do like 2 and 2. But here, being is that I'm new to the district, even though I've been teaching for 14 years, yeah, I still do, I think, a certain amount that is like for new teacher. And, you know, still not tenured, which kind of stinks that, you know, you get tenured at one area location and then you can't really transfer that over, which kind of sucks. But whatever, you know, it's like, I know people make such a big deal about it, but, you know, a job's a job, and, you know, it's like at any given point, you could lose it. I know with being tenured, it is a little harder. And like with certain things at the end of the year, like if they have a reduction in force, you know, then, you know, if you're one of the teachers that are not tenured, you're kind of a little bit more on the chopping block than if you were tenured, obviously. So that's the only difference, but whatever. It is what it is. Like I said, I cross that bridge when I get there. For now, I'm just going to work doing my job. But yeah, so that's what I got going on today. He's coming in during my math block, which we will continue doing division of mixed numbers, and then I do have an escape room for them, as well as like a picture reveal that they can work on when they are done. So that'll be fun for them to do. And then we finished our story for Skid or Hitter yesterday. We might just kind of go through it again today and do the further analysis questions, and then kind of do the 5 questions that we do, because this one didn't have a guided reading component, which they normally do, and they don't have the guided reading component where it's like we're able to answer questions throughout the text. So yeah, I don't know, it was weird, but anyway, and then we are ever more so closer to dissecting the sea lamprey. I think we plan on doing it next week on Monday, so pray for me because it's gross. It is so gross, but whatever. All right, well, I'm headed to school. I should hopefully be there in like the next 10-12 minutes. I'll check in with you guys later and see how the day is going. Hope you're having a great morning. Hi, I had a mobile order for Diana.
We got it. We'll stay at the window.
Thank you. Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday. One more day till the weekend. Love, love, love those Mondays off. All right, so sorry I didn't check in yesterday. I kind of was like done towards the end of the day. My brain was just like, ugh. And we were decorating for Boss's Day, which is today. And then what else were we doing? Yeah, we were decorating for Boss's Day, and then I had to put in an order for just to get the stuff that I had promised to get on my end for Boss's Day, which was like drinks and like my boss's cake and chips and stuff. So needless to say, but yeah, so that was my day yesterday. And then I got home, and then I took my daughter to gymnastics, and then did all that, picked up my mom, and just kind of made dinner and was just pretty much home. So but yeah, so now I'm on my way to school. I should be there in about maybe 15 minutes. Hold on, let me grab my straps. Hi, good morning. Thank you. Awesome. You too. Have a great day. Yeah, so I got this new, well, I guess not, maybe it's not new, but it's new to me. New to me. It's a sugar-free vanilla protein latte. So it has about 27 grams, which is good because everybody's always saying that we need to have protein, like, help us get fuller. It's good. Doesn't taste any different than any regular old schmegular vanilla latte, so not too shabby. I can't complain. It'll get the job done, and it'll keep me full, and it'll keep me awake. Let's hope. But anyway, so yesterday, yeah, my principal did come in to do my informal observation. He said everything was really good. It's funny because he commented about my math and just talked about how I was so good at like the 6th grade math curriculum and the concepts and all this, and I just personally don't think I do. I don't know, maybe I'm like my toughest critic, who knows, but it's like one of those things where it's like I know I'm not a math person. I know above and beyond I'm not a math person because I just struggled so bad in school. And back then when you were in school, it's not like today where it's like teachers try to go above and beyond for like the kids, or they have like 20 different strategies to solve something. And back then it was just like the basic standard math, kind of like similar to what I'm teaching. However, it was just more of a, the teachers were just very like, what don't you get? And it was just it wasn't as like confident building. It was more like put downs. I feel like it was just like, why aren't you getting this? Why don't you understand this? So it was, I just felt like there wasn't as much support back when I was a kid as opposed to now, where it's like we're overly abundant with support. I I guess, depending on where you are, obviously. But I feel like it's just more out there. Like back then, you really didn't hear too much about like IEPs or like special, you knew special needs, but not really. Like most of the kids that were special needs had to be like they were more, you could tell, as opposed to like now where it's like a lot of kids get IEPs, but it's just more so for like learning disabilities, as opposed to like it being like something where it's significant. You can tell that there's, something that's not quite right. And so it's just, yeah, so back then, not saying that I had or needed one, but I think I could have utilized, that's what I was thinking about. I could have utilized some like early intervention. So like we do that in my, school or whatever, and I'm sure they do it across, wherever. But they have like kids that don't have IEPs, but that they're struggling, and so they do like these interventions where like they pull them out and they kind of help them a little bit more with math skills that they're lacking. So I think I probably would have benefited from something like that in math as I got older, because algebra was just not my thing. I didn't understand it, and it took a while for me to understand it. But then when I went to college, I remember I was in like pre-algebra, which is like the pre-college courses. So I wasn't even getting college credit, but I had to take them anyway because it was like the first step. And I remember they had this program that I was able to use, and I liked it because, and again, back then we didn't have like IXL, we didn't have Dreambox, we didn't have all these, math applications that helped us. So it was like, this one was probably one of the first ones, and I won't remember what it was, but I just remember it being like something where I would put the problem in, or I would solve it, and it would show me, if I did it wrong, it would show me the steps, because that was my struggle, was like I couldn't handle all the steps, or I didn't remember all the steps. And so because I didn't remember all the steps, I was always missing something. And so I kind of felt like that's what I lacked. So, but anyway, to my point, it's funny to hear him say that I understand the math concepts when I know that I'm not a big math person. So it's pretty interesting. But I think me personally, I'm starting to think that maybe he's saying these things because he knows that I don't want to move to the middle school. Because if you guys have been following me, you know that at the end of this year, they're moving our 6th grade across the district to the middle school. They did the middle school over, and they're moving all of our 6th grade rooms to the middle schools. And so, there won't be a job for me next year unless like I take over somebody else's job that leaves, retires, or I get another job at a different school that needs somebody. And so, so it's just funny. I think that at times he like kind of pushes me, because I think he tells me, just go to the middle school. Like, I think you'll do great, but I just don't want to. And again, it's like, if I was guaranteed that I was going to be able to just teach 6th grade math, and maybe, because then I can perfect my craft. But from what I've gathered, I don't think that that's going to be the case. And I don't think, I don't know. And I don't feel confident enough to teach like 7th and 8th grade math. I'm barely getting by it with 6th grade math, I feel. So I don't know, but maybe he sees something in me that I don't. Either way. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm just like, I'm just like stuck. So I'm just trying to ride this year out and see where God places me next year. I hope I stay in the district, because I do like the district. My ideal situation would be to stay at my school, even though I'm not a big fan of the open concept by any means. I like having a classroom closed, but at the same time, I don't get my principal, and I love my principal. I think he's great. I think he's very supportive, and I think that I'm very grateful to have experienced having a principal like that, and that knowing in the teaching industry that it is possible that you could have someone that is supportive, because pretty much I feel like the majority of my life that I've worked in schools, I really haven't had too many supporting principals. So but anyway, that's my rant for the morning. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm on my way to school. So I think today what we're going to do for math is just we're going to review because we're going to take a quiz tomorrow. And then ELA, we're going to finish up. We read the story Skid or Hitter, and the kids answered some questions, but we're going to do our extended response today. And then for science, we're going to finish up talking about the sea lamprey because next week we are going to be dissecting the sea lamprey. And then social studies, they're just working on their presentation for their cultural hearths. So that's going to be my day. So, but hopefully I get a chance to check in with you guys later, maybe at lunch, maybe at the end of the day, not sure. But hope you guys are having a great Thursday and excited that the week has flown by. Good morning and happy Friday. There they are. You know what today is. I did not put any makeup on, so my bags are extra bagging this morning. Ooh, today was a rough one to get up out of bed. I actually got up at like 6:30, close to 6:40, and I normally don't do that, but I was tired. We went to bed probably at like midnight because my boyfriend's brother's birthday was yesterday, and so they celebrated it last night, and so we hung out over there at his mom's house, and then we played a game of Sequence. If you've never played a game of Sequence, you should play. It is really good. It's really fun. It's very strategic, and it's I like it a lot. And you know, it's like, it's so funny because we have lots of games at their house, but like it's always our go-to game nowadays. And so so we played a couple of games of that, and then by the time we went home it was like midnight, and so I'm just like super tired. But I apologize that I did not get on yesterday after school. I was just like not in the mood. So we had our reading lesson with Skid or Hitter, and we finished, you know, the 4 questions that we were supposed to do in the extended response. And I was just a little upset because we did the graphic organizer, and so we kind of went through what our claim was, and so that was nice. So we kind of wrote our claim together, and so the purpose of it was for them to find like their quotes for the claim, which was they had to find, because it was 2 things that they wanted to know like how a specific part of the story changed like the 2 characters, because there was 2 protagonists in the story as opposed to 1, and so they wanted them to like, you know, talk about like what changed them and then have evidence. So I said, okay, you only need 1 quote from each, you know, instead of doing like 2 or 3, you only need 1 for each to show what you're claiming. So most of them found the claim or the evidence okay, like they found the quote. And then when they go to write it, hold on one second, because I had to stop at Starbucks again this morning. Hi, I had a mobile order for Diana. Thank you. So much drinks in my car. Anyway, so yeah, they started writing. You know, they got their evidence, and when they started writing it up, like they wrote their claim, and so I don't know why they just felt the need to just write it exactly like, you know, the 2 quotes and then the 2 reasons. And I'm like, it has to be claim, evidence, response. Claim, evidence, response. And it was just like, we've been doing this now for about 7-8 weeks, and it's just, and the thing is like, I can understand if it's just something that they're not getting, and I'm totally fine with that. If a kid is not understanding something, but they're trying really hard and they're just like, I just don't get it, and they're consistently trying, and I see that, I'm okay with that because that's my job. But it is not my job. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I have returned. Okay, so I personally, like, the thing with them is like, it's not even the fact that they're not getting it, because again, if I see them writing it in the wrong spot. I'm like, oh, hey, you just need, and that's what I was telling them. I was like, oh, you put these together. You need to separate them. You need to put your reason here, blah, 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 whatever. But then I get these responses from kids, and it's literally like they don't proof what they're reading. It's just like, I'm just going to type this up, be done with it, send it off to you, and send up a little prayer. Like, there's no, I proofed this. There's no, I read this. There's no, I made sure that there was, and here's the thing. And I tell them, I'm like, I'm not mad if you spell something wrong. Like that. I'm not even, that's the sad part. I'm not even looking for that. I'm just more so looking like it's readable. And like, I had kids that were like, they were like, oh, the boy finally told his man, M-A-N, instead of his mom, M-O-N. And I'm like, those are things that are easily fixable if you would have edited your paper. Or the fact that you put a period and then you put a word right next to the period and you don't capitalize it. So like, not only is there no space, there's a period and that. And it's like, reading through this, like, I mean, here's the thing. I know some of you guys are going to come from me like, oh, well, maybe they don't know that. Fine. But we've read enough stories and we've read enough things. And it's like, at some point, it because your whole text isn't looking like that. But it's just like one word. And I'm just like, dude, you're not going back and proofing it and being like, oh, yeah, that looks bad. Or, oh, yeah, I shouldn't say that. Like, one girl posted like her thing. She was like, maybe. And then there was like, she spaced and then she had a next sentence and it was like C+4. And I'm like, you didn't even read through this again to make sure that shouldn't have been in there. And so it's just frustrating for me at this point that I'm like, you guys are literally just doing this out of pure laziness. This is not that you're not understanding the content. This is not that you're having difficulty with the curriculum. This is you just typing it up and being absolutely lazy and not taking accountability to take pride in what you're turning in. You just want to be done with it. You just want to be done with it, and you want to move on to whatever else is next. Because again, just like any other technology and video game and, YouTube shorts and TikToks, and like, they just need constant like stimulation for their brain. And it's like, focusing on one thing is just not a thing. It's just not a thing. And it drives me nuts. So needless to say, I just was not in the mood to pick up the camera and have a conversation. And plus my coworker came in and she was like, she saw how frustrated I was, and she came in and like just sat with me and we had a conversation. And she's going through the same thing, and so she's bless her, she's trying to stay so positive, which is awesome. I love that for her. But I was just like, yesterday, man, I was, as the kids would say, I was crashing out. But today is a new day. Today is a new day. And we are trying our best to enjoy this new day. And the fact that it's Friday. And we got paid. So, but it is Friday. And we do have an assembly in the morning. And then hopefully it should be a pretty good day. Kind of a quick day. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, whew. Like I said, my brain is fried and I don't know what to do. So I'm hoping that today is a better day. But I guess you'll know if you see me in the afternoon. Not in my car. Or maybe in my car, but you'll see me because I won't be crashing out, as the kids say. So I hope you have a great Friday, and I will check in with you guys later. Hey friends, so it is the end of the day. I'm so sorry I did not check in. It was just a constant go, go, go. So as you can see, I have my book bag on. I am ready to exit the premises. I'm just collecting some books. I am turning off my lights. I need to turn off my TV. I'm also going to turn off my lamp, my janky lamp. Yeah, and then I'll meet you guys in the car. Hello friends, I am so sorry that I did not record in the car. I drove home. I kind of rushed home because I wanted to get back to my kids and just kind of see what they're up to today, because it is Friday and they wanted to go to the park and ride their bikes, because now that they learned how to ride their bikes, because I finally taught them, now they just want to ride outside, which is, I think it's great because kids don't get out enough. So here we are at the park, and so we're just hanging out. And so my hair's a mess, my eyes are a little dark circly because of the light, but that's okay. It's Friday. When I get out of here, I'm gonna go home. I have some wine waiting for me, and I'm just gonna hang out with the kiddos. And then tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, and we're gonna go take her to the Shed Aquarium. She's gonna get her ears pierced, and my earring fell, and it's actually in my pocket as we speak, so I only have one on right now. But she's gonna get her ears pierced. We're gonna take her to the shed, and then we're gonna cut a cake for her. Their birthday party isn't for another couple of weeks because they're gonna have their birthday party together on the 1st. But yeah, so this is pretty much my evening and what we're doing. So I hope that you enjoyed this week in my life, and just kind of see a little bit about what goes on with the chaos from, you know, going to school and dealing with some children that are being a little lazy, to being with some children that are not lazy. Well, at least not going to the park. Work-wise, they're a little lazy too. So I have to kind of get them in check. My son right now, he's like been really kind of like not wanting to put in the work for math, and so gotta crack the whip on that one. But nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hopefully you like and subscribe if you want to, and we will do this all again next week. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.